meeting. It says the Cotton County Legislative Body will meet in regular session on Monday, April 20th, 2020 in the circuit courtroom. We are doing that via Teams meeting. And the following items of business will be considered. Number one, roll call.
Barry Ford.
Here.
Gayla Blazer.
Here.
Clay Blazer.
Here.
Norman Smith.
Here.
Jonathan Laws.
Here.
Shalay Benson.
Here.
Forrest Clevenger.
Present.
David Veradol.
Here.
Kyle Shute.
Here.
Gary Carter.
Here.
And none of the others joined the meeting, have they?
No, none of the others have not.
Okay, all right.
So we have
10 and 4.
10 present, 4 are absent. Obviously, or just for a point of reference, because we are doing April's meeting and we just have recently finished March, we will have 2 months worth of minutes to accept next month. So right now we have elections, appointments, and reports. A, notaries. In the matter of approving the following notaries and sureties, Vanessa Dennis. Do I have a motion? And again, someone in your chat function, please put that out there. Shalay makes a motion to accept those. Do I have a second? Seconded from Gayla Blazer. Thank you guys very much. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will have a roll call vote.
Barry Ford.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Clay Blazer.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Jonathan Laws.
Yes.
Shalay Benson.
Yes.
Casey Gillum. Oh, he's out. Forrest Clevenger.
Yes.
David Veradol.
Yeah.
Kyle Shute.
Yes.
Gary Carter.
Yes.
10 and 4.
Very good. Then in the matter of accepting the following quarterly reports from both the Sheriff's Department and the County Clerk, do I have a motion to accept those?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
All right, Forrest makes that motion. Do I have a second? Barry seconded. All right, all those in, go ahead and we'll have a roll call vote on that.
Barry Ford.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Clay Blazer.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Jonathan Laws.
Yes.
Shalay Benson.
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger.
Yes.
David Veradol.
Yes.
Kyle Shute.
Yes.
Gary Carver.
Yes.
10 and 4.
All right, 10 and 4, that motion carries. All right, number C, in the matter of any committee reports, we've got Budget Committee from Heather. You again should have those in your packet.
Yes, that should have been in your packet. And the first thing is the county transfers and amendments. I'm going to make one change on these. Down the very last one, the landfill, I have 75,000, but that's because when Chandler and I were looking at his report, we forgot we had asked for that March one. So I need to lower that to 25 because you all already gave us some back in March on the March one. But other than that, the committee approves the attached transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the county.
All right, so we need a motion to accept these from her, that Heather gave us, but taking note of the fact that at the very bottom, so that everyone, if you didn't hear that, at the very bottom on the landfill, it initially says 75,000, and Heather said that only needs to be 25,000. So it will be the, going with that. I see that Shalay makes the motion. Do I have a second? Seconded from Gayla. All right, very good. Is there any discussion on this? Any discussion? Very good. Seeing none, Jan will do a roll call.
Barry Ford. Barry
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Clay Blazer.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Jonathan Laws.
Yes.
Shalay Benson.
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes.
David Verdoff,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte, Kyle Schutte,
It's sorry, yes, sorry. It's just a tail round. Calm down. Sorry,
Gary
yes, sorry.
Carver,
Yes.
10 and 4. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. Very good. All right, so we've still got a couple more. Heather?
Yes. Am I still on mute? Yeah, I'm still on mute. Okay. The committee recommends the approval of the attached transfers and amendments, waives the reading of the same for the school system.
So we have those for the school system. Do we have a motion to accept those? Chalet made the motion. Do I have a second? Seconded from Forrest. Is there any discussion or questions? All right, seeing none, Jan will go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Barry Ford,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Clay Blazer,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Jonathan Laws,
Yes.
Delay Benson,
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes.
David Verdoff,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte,
Yes.
Gary Carver,
Yes.
10 and 4.
Very good. Heather, you got one more, I think.
Yes. The following were brought to consideration after the budget meeting, but should be acted upon. I think we should do each of these separately, is my thought.
Okay.
The first one is the sheriff's department. Gases went way down, as you all know, so they've got a little extra in that line item. They're wanting to move it to vehicle maintenance to work on some SRO vehicles. I believe that is correct, Derek.
Here.
Yes, Heather, that is correct. Another, again, the thing, once we brought on additional school resource officers, we obviously have more vehicles that's assigned out. So obviously we got vehicle maintenance, and we've incurred a lot of vehicle maintenance issues, obviously because we're using the older cars for that, but we have to keep them maintained and keep them operating.
All right. So do I have a motion to, Chalet made a motion and Barry seconded it. All right. Is there any discussion here? Any discussion? All right. If not, then we'll have a roll call. And again, and our roll call is just on the sheriff's department one. Okay. Which is a yes.
That's true.
Go ahead.
Barry Ford,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Clay Blazer,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Jonathan Laws,
Yes.
Chalet Benson,
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes.
David Verdoff,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte,
Sorry, I was pushing my button. Yes.
Gary Carver,
Yes.
10 and 4.
All right. Very good. Heather, what's the next one?
The next one is from Chancery Court. Craig is wanting to move $1,000 from jury and witness fees to printing and supplies. He's wanting to, he's needing some equipment to update the courtroom for virtual meetings.
Okay. All right. So do I have a motion to accept those? From anyone? All right. Chalet makes the motion and Barry Ford seconds that. Is there any discussion? All right. If not, then Jan will again do another roll call vote, please.
Barry Ford,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Clay Blazer,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Jonathan Laws,
Yes.
Chalet Benson,
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes.
David Verdoff,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte,
Yes.
Gary Carver,
Yes.
10 and 4.
All right. So that motion carries. And one more, Heather, I think.
On the last thing I have is from EMA. He is needing to replace an air conditioning unit out there, and that is what that $4,062 is for.
Okay. All right. We do have a motion to accept that. A motion from Chalet. Do I have a second? Usually have a couple of these coming in at the same time. Gary Carver seconds that. Very good. All right. So is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and have a roll call vote.
Barry Ford,
Yes.
Taylor Blazer,
Yes.
Clay Blazer,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Jonathan Laws, Delay Benson,
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes. Hey, Choma.
David Verdall,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte,
Yes.
Gary Carver.
Yes, and I'll never take another voice vote for granted.
All right, very good, very good. So that motion carries. I think that's everything, right, Heather?
Yes. I do want to update everybody. We are a little bit behind on the budget calendar, but between the reassessments that are going on, Angie's numbers are changing constantly on me as far as getting a penny value, and then with the virus that set us behind too. So, but still working on it.
All right, and let me just make a couple of comments and a question for you too there, Heather. I do know, I mean, has the state given us any kind of, we're not necessarily on the same June 30th budgetary, I mean, like, do we not get a little bit of extension time? Did I misread that? Or is June 30th still the date we're shooting for?
The last memo that I saw, June 30th is still the date that they want it by.
Okay.
Of course, you know, we have until August, but.
Yes. Right, we don't necessarily want to do that. So, I mean, that is going to impact our statement. Also, I know this, and this was something that I know that Heather has gotten, that the mayor has gotten, and I'm just going to make you all aware of it. I know that we know that there is some money that is coming into us from the state. However, there are some caveats with that particular money, as is the case anytime you get money. So I'm just making us aware of that. So whenever I know that there are some people, and again, we're very appreciative of, and it's a good sum of money. I mean, we're not going to take that for granted. It is going to help us out, but it has very specific ways that it has to be used. So we will be addressing that kind of later on. And Heather, I don't know if you want to speak to that. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I just know a couple of commissioners and a variety of other people have been brought up. I know at least in some online forums that's been brought up, just so that people are aware of that. If you wanted just to give a quick explanation so everybody knows exactly.
Yeah. Well, what the governor has done is he's given each county and I believe each city some money to help stimulate some growth here. But there is very specific, and we do get a hefty sum from what I have seen. And but there is very specific uses. You have to use it either on IT, capital maintenance, utility system upgrades, road projects, public safety, or COVID-19 things. And it's very time sensitive, but it has to be, I mean, it's for next budget season. And then, but there is an application and stuff coming out April 30th. So I'll know more information once all that comes out.
Okay. I mean, and Heather too, just because I think Gayla asked that question. I mean, I've not used the number because I don't know, but I mean, can you give us an approximation of what that number is?
Yeah, hold on. We're looking at about 1.1.
Okay, $1.1 million. So, and I think the way that I think that we can go work with this, guys, that it will be beneficial. It's not as if it's just money that's going straight into our general fund, but what it will do is maybe on some things that we have been previously putting money toward, it frees up some of that money. So, I mean, it's got some caveats to it, but it also, I think if we use it the right way, we can free up, and it shouldn't be, although I know like Mr. Clevenger was talking about, like, you know, a sales tax revenue shortage, which we know we probably will have. This may kind of offset that. We just have to be really creative and I think smart about how we go about figuring out how to use that particular money. So I mean,
I'd actually spoke to Gary about this earlier, and this is for transparency. We have money allocated to fix the roof, which is set aside. We have money set aside to fix the roads going into the new industrial park if everything happens. If we take that grant money possibly and use it for that, and we'll be able to transfer that monies we've already allocated back into probably capital projects or whatever. So that's about $750,000, $800,000 there. What I'd like to see happen, I'd like to see Heather get with one or two of the commissioners, the mayor, probably just Gary Carver, since he's got 2 MBAs in this whole thing, and maybe come up with something really good that we can do. I know between Heather and Gary, we'll be golden here.
I would agree. I mean, I think that that's very good. Shalay, I think you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to make everybody aware of the rafting situation going on.
Okay. Yeah,
I have talked to the owners, and I've been in contact with them because I'm very close with them, work with them constantly. The payroll protection has already run out of money, so they have not received any money. So if y'all understand, you know, they're our second biggest income for this county besides property tax. So I think we need to be proactive, and with the task force, we're trying to be, but I've been trying to help them with the small business loans. They're not really getting all the information I've requested from Lucas. I'm going to get back with him on that. But I think we really need to reach out to them, get a support letter to them, and the county sort of take interest in this and help them, because they're already having to stop rafting because of everything. And a lot of them are starting back May 1st if they're going to be able to. And it's already showing on our numbers. So I just want to bring that to everybody's attention. You know,
We start
Thank
back
you, Shalay,
first, they're going to take a big hit. They'll take a huge hit this year. We bring in what, 400? What was it, Shalay, last year? 400,000.
yes. And we were looking at 450,000 this year. They had
we-
started out strong, and now we're already cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna obviously see some of these shortfalls all the way through. One thing that I thought about, and again, and that was I'm glad, Forrest, that you spoke to that I just wanted to make sure that people were aware of. We do have some monies that are coming into that, and there are some ways that we can make them work. We just have to be real smart about how we go about kind of helping to make up for some of those shortfalls. But again, keep in mind that there's just you're still not going to be able to make up for if the economy were open and working function regularly, as is the case with like rafting. We would rather have those rafting numbers up. We'd rather get our regular sales tax revenue as to be getting this money, but at least that will maybe help us out, and it's something that we can look forward to moving forward. Thank you guys both for that. Going on, is there anything from landfill? I don't think so, because they weren't able to meet. What about from the general committee? I don't think that they've met. Public safety, again, do we have anything from that? Norman, I don't mean to cut you off if you had something to say.
No, you're fine. We've all been quarantined. Okay. So no.
All right. Yeah. The quarantine sort of slowing us down. Purchasing, we are going to try to get that meeting together. Matter report from the county mayor, because she did not do that last month. Go ahead.
I just wanted to let you all know, I think I've been sending you all out information that you all are aware. We've declared, a state of emergency for a local one for the county, a disaster for the county, just so we can get reimbursements, as Derek was alluding to earlier. We're still holding true at 11 cases. That's not changed since Friday. We are doing a lot more testing, so we expect numbers to rise on that. The task force is meeting weekly, addressing a lot of the things, everything from economics to the medical aspect of it to the social services, food, things like that side of it. A lot of the regular business that we've been doing is delayed as well. It's been pushed back. The roofs got pushed back a little. Some of our other grants have gotten pushed back a little. The state, some of the things they've been doing, they're working from home and working differently as well. So a lot of things just postponed or pushed back. But if anybody has any specific question for me, I'd be happy to answer it. But we're just going as hard as we can to. We've had a lot more people on unemployment, trying to get them signed up locally. All the schools are doing a great job. They're feeding like 27,000 a week, 27,000 a week, and the whole county's been affected by this, and I know everybody is just working. I know you all are answering questions, because you all are texting me and on things that are coming up in various communities. But as soon as everything goes back to normal, I know we've postponed taking up some things at the convenience centers. When you throw in 2 incidences of flooding into all this, there's a lot going on right now. So if you have specific questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, just know that we're all just working and trying to get through it.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the mayor? All right, if not, I'm going to go on a report from the county attorney.
I don't have anything.
Okay, all right, thank you. I do know that I'll address something about that in just a minute. It's later on down the pike. Do we have a report from any county commissioners?
I have a question real quick. Has anybody from the rec department has they attempted to try to do a virtual meeting, or where are we at with that?
All right, I can address what I know about that because they've been in contact, and I know Forrest can too. So I don't know, Forrest, do you want to address that, or do you want me to?
Well, I talked to Butch today, but what is it? Go ahead and you tell us what he's told you. He had something that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, now I have not spoken with him today. I mean, but he's like, you should know they're basically on a skeleton crew, because obviously there's no, I mean, they're working their way through, just keeping the fields up and whatever else. Should we be able to get recreation back going again? I have not placed somebody else on that board, even though I know that there is a vacancy. I didn't see until we opened things back up. To me, that was not a pressing matter. So, I mean, I will say that right now it's just a 4-member board. I know that they have had a couple of small meetings, but they've not made any movement in any direction other than just to run the day-to-day. We're just going to call it emergency operations. We're not trying to do anything. And again, that's the same thing with where we are here, which is why I'm glad we'll just talk about from something that happened previously where we put off that sheriff's department transfer. We just don't need to be worrying about anything right now that's just overly, we'll say, contentious. I think, and that's the same with this rec department. It is obviously contentious. So we're not. I told them not to do anything like that till we open back up and get back functioning to normal, because there's just no need, so that people can have the opportunity to come and speak and address that sort of information at once.
Butch had told me today that which I could see his point. They were talking about just laying everyone off. I don't know if that's possible, if we can do that. And, at first I'm like, well, that's insane. But the way unemployment is right now, and if they were laid off, they would actually be drawing probably a lot more than they're making now with the rec department. That in turn would save county and payroll. I'm not sure about that.
Is that a decision we could actually make? Because that seems good.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I see that Gayla, you had typed something in Kyle, and then I'll get to you after Gayla says. Go ahead, Gayla.
Well, I was looking at like all the policies that came through. Did that board need to look at doing a policy like that emergency policy? And I know that they're on a skeleton crew, but if they don't work and keep those fields up, it's going to be awful when we do get started back. So they really need to work there. There's work that they can do, I believe.
Those fields belong to the school system. The school system can take care of the fields.
We use them for the rec department, and they have always kept them up.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about there.
That's what I was saying. Like next year, they will be used by the rec department. I mean, are we going to let them just go down to the ground and have so much work next year for them to do? It's a lot to think about.
I mean, and I will say, Forrest, going back to that, I know you've been talking with Butch. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I would think for any month to month, that's going to be the rec board's decision to make. It's not. We can give them some, suggestions, and I see both sides. And I think that that's something that they will take into consideration. But that's kind of it. One of the reasons why we had that is so that we just don't have to fool with I shouldn't say fool with, so that we don't have to have the day-to-day runnings with it. I think that there are some good, but those are both some good points. Kyle, you had a comment that you were going to say. But I don't.
Actually, you pretty much answered my question. It was just that if that's even something that we could actually do. So it seems like it's going to fall back on the board anyway.
And again,
but I do like the idea that it saves the county money. Plus, it in the long run, it's going to help
now,
them anyway. So
now, whenever I talked to Butch earlier in Forest, you may have talked to him today. So I mean, this was one day last week. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think, and just for lack of a better word, and it's not overly politically correct, but the ladies in the office have been laid off. My understanding is it's the men who were there that are keeping up the fields were the only ones that are still working, so to speak. Am I right on that, Forrest, or is that?
No, I think they're actually getting paid. They're working at home. I'm not sure. I really need to check again with Bush. Now, one thing we are looking at, and Heather and the mayor need to think about this too, is they've collected fees for softball, baseball. They're going to start refunding those fees, and that means they're going to have to come down there and get a check from the mayor's office. Or they need to figure out how to do that where you don't have 40, 50 angry people in there aggravating Heather and the mayor.
I knew that.
And put a plan for that one. I swear I would.
I've got to, I mean, I had that was one of those things I've got to give Butch a call. But one of my thoughts also that I thought on that, without trying to like have anything about the rec department, without necessarily trying to tell them, but I mean, one thought that I said was, let's just say that we do open up the 1st of June. Why does I know I'm just going to use T-ball has traditionally been April until like maybe June. What's to say that it can't be June to August when everything else pushed back? Because I mean, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, and I know the mayor is going to answer that in just a second, but I mean, what's to say that like football season has to start in August? I mean, it could be pushed back, because I think we're seeing that everything's going to be pushed back. I think there's a couple of different things. Mayor, why don't you say that, and then we will go on, because I know Mr. Smith has a comment too. Mayor, go ahead if you don't mind.
Okay. As far as the refunds, those have to be brought down on a request from somebody at the rec department. We can't just have a citizen come in and say, give me my money back, because we don't know that they gave it. So all that has to flow through. And I've had a few questions on it, and I've referred them to the rec department. But from what I understand from Butch, some of the ladies did not work some weeks there. I think there's some intermittent working, and they're not getting paid when they're not working. But that I don't know if that was just for that week. I don't know if he has since laid them off. But whoever you all are going to have at the rec department, as far as giving these refunds back for the softball, if they're not going to extend it or however that's going to work out, there has to be like a copy of the receipt, signed documentation. So that's going to be a whole process.
And we will, I mean, I'm sure that we will work out some sort of way, but like, I think that we're a little premature with kind of figuring out that we're going to be, I know that refunds potentially could come, but I mean, maybe I'll think very optimistically, and that we're going to not have to I'll worry about that. But I do think that's something we have to come back to. Norman, you said you had another couple of, I mean, I should say before I go to Norman, does anybody else have any other comments about this? I will get back with them on that, and I will try to kind of let you all know an update on that next month. All right, Norman, go ahead.
I know I've talked about it a couple times before, but that farm down there that's in the floodplain, that's a cornfield, we need to get a lot of that sold. We need to sell a lot of that property and get it on the tax roll and use that money going forward for the new industrial board or industrial park. And I'm not sure how to get that ball rolling, but we need to do that. Unless anybody has any objections, but I mean, it's crazy to keep that thing when we know that no businesses are going to want it, and we need to get it on the tax roll. And we need to get that money in the fund.
Okay. I would agree. I mean, I think that's something that's obviously some money we can use towards some things that we have. I mean, obviously some capital projects that we have coming on. And I don't know if that's, I mean, I'm going to defer to the mayor, but I'm also going to defer to the attorney, like about moving forward with that. If we wanted to sell some county property, how would we go about that? And again, this is just for informational purposes. I'm not trying to.
The last property that ended up coming back to us is that property on 411. we had to find a commercial appraiser, get it appraised. They came in and appraised it. All the commission got a copy of the appraisal. But everybody at that time wanted to wait until the new 411 got done, which it's still not completed yet. So that property is just sitting there. But any property sales, whether you all want to get an appraisal on it, or if you all want to, like, if you all want to market through like a real estate agent, we would have to like put that out for bid and know what their percentage of commission was and everything. We'd have to put that out for bid. It would probably have to be sealed bid because depending on the value of it, it kind of goes back to like the appraiser on the roof. You know, if it was, we don't know how much it's going to be, so they said it was best to put it out to bid, and find somebody to market it, and then y'all would just have to approve an offer.
Okay. And I think as we get through working through, I mean, and it probably won't help us for this upcoming budget, but I mean, I think that's something we probably need to, I'm glad that you brought that on there, and maybe that's something that we can think about moving forward. And I assume that's part of what you were wanting, Norman.
Yeah, but we do need to just not let it fall through the cracks. I mean, that's some money that we've got sitting there that we're growing corn in every year.
Right.
And we need to put that to better use somehow. The only other comment I have, a couple more comments, is this, you know, I think, and I know this is special times, but our state unemployment department was not prepared for what's going on. I know a lot of people still having problems, especially these that are self-employed. You know, you can't get on, you can't speak to anybody. And so, if there's a number out there that we can get to these people, be good. The only other comment I want to make is about our emergency management director. I think he's doing a great job. There's a lot going on, and I think he's been handling himself very professional, and I appreciate it. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Norman. Anybody else? All right. If not, we're going to kind of continue moving on. There is a report from the Cotton County Partnership, and that is enclosed unless anybody has a question about that. As well as one from First Call Ambulance Service and Keep Cotton County Beautiful. We did not receive a animal shelter report this month. And then a matter of report from the County Corrections Partnership. Did you have anything to go there, Mayor?
The animal shelter didn't. I think they just sent one like yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
So they did have it, and I guess the partnerships, the correction partnership. Gary, do you have anything as the chair of that?
No, it just Jay sent a couple of emails. Their office isn't letting them do face-to-face meetings, which is fine, but they're supposed to be setting up something with you and me and Armando and Derek to get some info so they can start their new projections. I don't think they've done any site work yet either, but I don't think they're allowed to be honest, right now.
Okay.
I have a question, Clay, about I'm sorry, but I didn't get when I needed to say it, but it was about the ambulance service. I need to go back to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. No, I just wanted to ask, I had a complaint about that, the ambulance service, and I emailed the guy in Nashville over it, and I sent it to Crystal also. Crystal, have you heard anything about, Lindsay was doing a follow-up with that, I think.
I have not heard anything. I saw where you had emailed Keith and Lindsay, and I knew it was somehow maybe related or personal to you, and I thought maybe they were just getting in contact with you, and I was just kind of.
I haven't been able to get a hold of Keith. He's supposed to talk to me about it, but I just wanted to. I mean, she was supposed to get. He told me back with us. There was some issues just to bring everybody up to code on it, and I was very upfront with everybody, and I told them it was my aunt. So evidently she has got a lot of heart issues and her blood pressure goes really low. So when the EMTs came, they wouldn't listen to her son, and they told him exactly what was wrong. There were some issues with it. They gave her some medication, and when they got to the hospital, the doctor said if they could have eventually killed her because they didn't listen to what the the son was telling them about her blood pressure. I have a real problem with that, but I thought Lindsay was going to be looking at it. I'm going to try to get back with her in our next meeting, and I'll let you know. I'll follow up with it, but I hadn't heard anything. I just wanted to know, everybody know that it was my aunt. I thought that I went through the proper channels to do what I needed to do, because I did take it to Crystal and to Keith and Lindsay, and I haven't heard back. I know Keith wanted me to call him, but I have not been able to get a hold of him. And I know it's a crazy time right now, but I just don't want I feel like, people know their parents, or your child best, and they need to listen. I don't know if they need training better or what, but there's an issue there, and I just wanted to bring that to attention.
Thank you, guys.
And
I
when
didn't
I find out,
realize they had not gotten back with you. I thought they might have
Yeah.
excluded me just because of HIPAA.
no, it's fine. Because, if it's going to happen with one person, my thing is, if it's happening with one person, it's more than likely happening somewhere else in our county with other people. So he did send me his phone number and stuff, and he said he wanted to talk to me, and that Lindsay was work, and I've tried to get a hold of it, and I'm going to keep trying. And when I get a hold of him, you all know what the outcome is, but I just wanted to know that so you all would know what was going on there.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I'm glad, and just keep us in the loop on that. Did I skip over anything else? If not, if we're done with County Corrections Partnership, are we good? I'm going to continue on. All right, in the matter of approving the following property tax refunds, Brown Ronald and Kellyanne Smeltzer for $355. Do I have a motion to accept those? A motion from Chalet and seconded from Gayla. Do I have any discussion? All right, if not, we will have a roll call vote, Jen.
Barry Ford,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer,
Yes.
Clay Blazer,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Jonathan Laws,
Yes.
Shirley Benson,
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes.
David Veradol,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte,
Yes.
Gary Carver,
Yes.
10-4.
So that motion carries. All right. Then in the matter of approving the following fiscal year 2020 budget amendment for the Cotton County Board of Education, and that was enclosed. So do I have a motion to accept that? A motion from Chalet and seconded from, who's going to be first on the draw this time? He's going to be second. I need a second, please. I'll second it from Barry Ford. Very good. Very good. All right. Now, going ahead and we'll have another roll call vote, please.
Barry Ford, Barry Ford,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Clay Blazer,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Jonathan Laws,
Yes.
Shirley Benson,
Yes.
Forrest Clevenger,
Yes.
David Veradol,
Yes.
Kyle Schutte,
Yes. I pushed the wrong button again. Sorry. Yes.
That's fine.
Gary Carver,
Yes.
10-4.
All right. So that motion carries. Very good. All right. The new business, we'd already done those two in last month. All right. There are a series of these. The mayor's office has got a COVID leave early policy. The circuit court clerk has a leave early policy. Jan has one for the county officials that she has kind of gone. I know we're going to do these individually. I also know that Josh Blanchard, and I will, in full disclosure, sent me one. I did not bring it with me, but I know that he had one specifically, and I assume that they're going to look the same. He was supposed to send that to the county attorney first. I know that everybody is kind of going through with that. I don't know, either mayor or the attorney, if you guys want to speak to this as far as what these leave policies are and what our need for doing them is.
Well, I don't mind. It was recommended by the comptroller's office, as we are trying to have the non-essential or limit exposure as much as possible, to have a policy to address it. And as you know, each individual department has their own policies, so that's why You have various different ones. Some are the same, some are different. But whatever the policy is, we had to let you all know that we've done one, so you all would be aware of it. And then the individual departments are in turn supposed to, when the audit comes, they're going to make sure that we're actually following those.
All right, and then
Mayor, Mayor, did the rec department know that? Because I didn't see anything from them. So did anybody tell them about it?
I don't know that they would know about it. And I mean, the question I was going to ask, and I know this is an attorney question, and I think that's, well, because we don't have every single departments anyway. There were some, I know Jan was, whenever I brought this here, and that's why I'm saying Josh was not able to get it he didn't get it over here with the election commission. So he mailed me a copy. I left it at home whenever I was coming here today. So I don't necessarily have that one. You all wouldn't have access to it anyway. What I'm wondering is from the attorney's office is, and this is a question for the mayor and the attorney, I guess both, is there some way that we can just give that authority, like that we are going to give a blanket approval of these COVID-19 policies, for every department, assuming that the attorney signs off on it? Do you see it? I don't know if y'all are following me with that. That would make the most sense. And then that way, right now, we could vote tonight to approve all the county emergency COVID-19 policies, assuming that each department submits that to the county attorney's office. Does that make sense? Is that something we can do, or do we have to do them all individually? In a perfect world, if we did them now, then that would be the easiest way, that we're just going to approve the COVID-19 policies, and once the county attorney checks off on them, then they'll go into effect, and that should suffice on both places. I mean, for our audit purposes and whatever else. Comments on that? I mean, I see Gary has asked about voting on them all at once, and Shalay said the county attorney approves them. So go ahead. Who wants to speak there?
Do we need those?
Attorney?
That's okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Gary.
Okay.
If the attorney gives us,
go ahead, Gary.
Gary, go.
Okay. If the attorney gives us the green light, yeah, I'd be willing to make the motion that we allow each individual department head to submit their COVID-19 policies, and as long as the attorney's okay with them, we approve them all as a blanket.
Okay, Melissa, are you okay? Is that something that we can do?
Yeah,
right.
I don't see an issue with that.
So again, making sure here, and because Gary is going to make that motion here in just a second, that we adopt that as long as they're approved by the county attorney, that each individual department's COVID-19 policy will become the policy of the county.
That's fine.
All right, that is good. All right, so Gary makes that motion, and then I see that Johnny Law seconds that. He happened to be next after that. Is there any discussion on these emergent, again, and we're talking about this is for the COVID-19 policies, and what that does is any of those that weren't here for us tonight, they can just send them straight to the county attorney, and that will take care of everybody, so that we don't have to have 14 different policies. Although I know Gary enjoys a good roll call vote as much as the next guy, so he's one.
Well, Gayla definitely had something. So.
Okay, Gayla, what did you say?
I just wanted to ask, every department knows that. So does that rec board need to go ahead and do one and send it to the county attorney?
They would need to.
Yeah, they would.
They don't fall under mine anymore, so they would need to do theirs.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So whoever needs to let them know whenever they have their next meeting, I guess, maybe to have it there and vote on it and send it to the attorney, or send it to somebody.
I believe they're aware of it, because I had spoken to Jan, and they know that about the emergency policies. I think their issue right now is because
they
Butch
can't have a meeting.
Yeah, and Butch doesn't have internet access.
Okay.
All right, and Forrest says there that he will take care of everything. I mean, he'll also contact with Butch, and I'm sure that we can reach out to Jan too, and she's been in contact with the mayor. So we'll make sure that gets where it needs to go. Shalay, do you have a question, or are you calling for question? I don't know which.
Well, I was just saying they were just emergency policies, and as the way I understand it, as long as each office has their own policy, it just has to be looked over by the county attorney and then just put into their policy.
Yes, it does. And the big thing for this is so we don't have to like, I mean, right now on the agenda right now, we've got one for the mayor's office. We've got one for circuit court. This way, once Melissa passes off on those, we're giving her the authority to, like, in other words, we're going to say that everybody can create their own COVID-19 policy. We are giving her once she says
is that only going to be for COVID-19, or is that going to be a whole, like, if it's a state of emergency, is it going to cover all of it or just this specific COVID-19?
No. You are right.
State of emergency.
It just says, I'm sorry. And I'm saying COVID-19 because that's where we are. The mayor does say COVID-19, but I think that's to address the emergency leave policy. And everybody's using different verbiage.
Would it be just a blanket emergency policy, right? Instead of just specifically COVID-19?
Yes, that's correct. All right. Are we
Jan,
all?
do I need to amend what I said then? Because I did specifically say the C word, COVID word.
I think I did too, Gary, but I mean, we'll make that change here. We're good with that. Okay. And assuming that your second, who was Johnny, is okay with that as well, then we'll be good to go. All right. If we don't have any other questions, we will have a roll call. Okay, yeah, sorry, it's taking her a second.
Gary Ford?
Yes.
Jayla Blazer?
Yes.
Clay Blazer?
Yes.
Norman Smith?
Yes.
Josh Ball?
Yes.
Kelly Benson?
Yes.
Casey Gillum? Forrest Clevenger?
Yes.
David Veradol?
Yes.
Kyle Shute?
Yes.
Gary Carver?
Yes.
10-4.
All right, so that motion carries. So again, all those policies, and we'll try to send something out to let each department know that if they can send that, they can just send that to the county attorney. All right. Joe wasn't going to be able to, the EMA wasn't going to be able to be here tonight. So, I mean, we'll put that off until next month. We have number 6, miscellaneous. Is there anything else for the good of the group that anybody would like to say? I will.
Terry Dawson just sent me a message, said that he tried to get in here, but nobody would let him.
Okay.
Pass that along. Terry tried.
All right. Well, I was going to make just a couple of comments. Excuse me. Number one, first thing, thank you guys for doing this. I know that this is an unusual way to be conducting a meeting, and so nobody would rather be in the courtroom than I would, just because so we could be face to face. But this kind of works for our purposes now. So thank you all for that. As a result of that, though, we do know that some of our commissioners may have had issues, either technical issues or just a problem with that. And I mean, I hate that they were unable to be there. I know that it wasn't because that they were sliding on their duties. It was more because that there's probably a technical issue. So, I mean, that's just something that we need to keep in mind as we're kind of moving forward. Our next scheduled meeting is on May 18th, which is, again, the third Monday. Right now, that's the last day under the governor's orders that we can, and I think I've made mention of this before in a previous time, but I'm just let you all know. The governor, that's the last time that we can do one of these types of meetings unless he extends that order. So right now, I'm not going to say that our meeting next month will be in person or that meeting will be done virtually. I will let you know about a week before. I mean, I'll give you plenty of time to know on that. And part of that's just because I personally think I'd rather wait and see what about on the May 11th, what our situation looks like after we have reopened up on May 1st as a community or whatever else. So just keep that in mind. I don't know what next month's meeting will look like. I thank you all so much for going forward with this. As soon as we are able to get back in person and, be able to have our meetings, whether it's budgetary meetings, whether it is meetings that we are dealing with, our commission meetings, public safety, whatever the case may be, whatever those meetings are, we still have some business that we need to be going through, but I do obviously urge all of you all to be safe and be very careful with what you're doing. If you're out and about, wear a mask, do all that stuff, wash your hands. I mean, I know I sound like being your mom. I'm not. I'm just simply saying y'all just need to be safe so that we can continue to be able to meet here together as quickly as we can. With that being said, do I have a motion that we adjourn? I have. Chalet makes that motion, and I think Forrest maybe
5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. He did because he got tired of hearing me speak. All right. Jan's going to do us a roll call, and we'll be done with this meeting. Thank you, guys.
Well, that's a pot calling the kettle black.
Goodbye, Norma.
Record.
Dana Blazer.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. Be
Bye-bye.
safe.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Jonathan Laws.
Yes.
Chalet Benson.
Yes, stay safe.
Clevenger.
He left.
David Veradal.
Mine's a yes, by the way.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Veradal's a yes.
Veradal is a yes.
Yes. Kyle Shute.
Yes.
Yes.
And Gary Carver.
Yes.
Very good. Guys, thank y'all very much, and we will see. We'll be looking forward to seeing y'all soon. All right.
Thank you.
And John, we can be done.